Hello and welcome to the Boost Over Ball podcast, your go-to place for everything Rocket League with your hosts, K-Cube, AJ Binky, and Red. So lean forward, lock in, and get ready to go Boost Over Ball.
Well, we are now recording and streaming, so there we go. Look at me go. Oh my God. I will say...
I wonder what the record button's for.
Yeah, the world may know.
How many episodes in early and he's never noticed?
I mean, I was doing it on OBS Studio, and then I switched to Streamlabs OBS like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, when we made partner a while, like not super.
Shuttleflex.
Yeah, exactly. Because everyone's watching an ad right now. If you just join the stream, like I did from my phone, so like, it's fine.
Oh wait, even better.
I gotta use that. I gotta use my Prime sub back on.
That's what it just reminded me of.
But sorry, my Prime sub is on rebate.
That's fine. I figured it might be.
I don't even watch Twitch on like that.
But
so I got it.
Yeah. So hopefully this will be better for everyone now that it's like recording and doing audio. So we should like the stream. So it should be better hopefully for everybody and easier quality for me to edit on. But we shall see. I also will remember this time to mute our mics and audio when I transition out to the ending screen because for some reason it doesn't do that automatically. So people who were watching the stream live last week heard us say something, and because we were talking about applying for media badges for FIFA E.
Oh yeah,
and they're like, "What big is happening?" I'm like, "They're not going to pick us." But
they're not choosing us.
Yeah, no.
There's like a 0.1% chance of that happening.
That was our conversation at the end. Just us talking about how we're what?
Yeah.
To fill my Jesus Christ.
But
did you guys hear that?
We just heard you talking. We didn't hear
yeah.
Okay, thank God. Making sure this mic doesn't pick up like everything. You hear people yelling outside my door.
No, you're good. Also, the noise suppression on Discord, like the crisp noise suppression, works pretty well. Like just in general. But here we are. I'm gonna say long weekend of Rocket League that was.
I fell asleep by the last two matches. I didn't even watch them. I fell asleep during the Vitality Falcons match because it was. To be fair, I did work. I haven't had a day off in the past like 13 and a half days. But
damn,
God dang, those days were long. They had so many matches, which was crazy because it's not even like a Swiss. So it's not like I don't even think on paper. I don't know how that happened that there was like more matches. I guess they started on. Did they start on Thursday or Friday?
Thursday.
Yeah, I don't know. Those days were long though.
Yeah, but
I was watching Chief Beef stream, and you can see the light in his eyes as the day goes longer, just leaving.
I mean, you got to think about it too, right? Like how far ahead like they are in Riyadh from like the Eastern time zone. So it's like
let's look at the time difference here. Riyadh, Arabian Standard Time. Let's see. It is a 7-hour time difference backwards. So it's 8 o'clock here. It's 1 o'clock there.
AM.
Or sorry, no. PM. They're behind. Like, wait, ham. Wait, it's 3 a.m. there currently.
Yeah,
I was going the wrong way. It is 3 a.m. currently there in Riyadh. So they were starting at 10 a.m. Usually, like 10.
The matches in Eastern time zone were starting at 8 a.m. for
8 a.m.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
They're starting around 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, and so these matches were ending like some of the later days were starting at like 10, 11 p.m., which is crazy.
Oh.
It certainly is, especially if there's some tech pauses.
Oh my god, dude. The tech pauses I mean, it made Sipical's tech pause look like a freaking like a 2-second break.
So before we jump in too much, let's do the intro here. So hello and welcome back to the Boost Over Ball podcast. To listeners new and old, hello. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome back. I'm Kyle, K-Cube in the top left. In the top right, I'm joined by Red. And in the bottom, we got Quilly. How's it going, Quilly?
I'm doing great. So happy to be here. Definitely alive and awake.
Fair. Red, how's it hanging?
It's been good. You know, I still haven't played Rocket League in like 6 weeks, so we're doing great so far.
All right.
Mental health was at an all-time high.
Well, today's episode will be discussing the Esports World Cup. Well, the Rocket League portion, at least. We'll go through the results, give our thoughts and opinions, go over our group predictions and how those fared, all before heading off to a new segment called Stonks, where we will discuss which team or players stock we're buying, selling, or holding. We'll talk about that more once we get there. But the Esports World Cup, again, continues to be an awesome event. You know, props to the Saudi Arabian government for sponsoring this. I think the Esports World Cup concept is very cool. I think that, you know, it's always awesome to see S-tier Rocket League again outside of RLCS, and right now this is really the only opportunity you have for that. The FIFA World Cup's a little bit different, and, you know, maybe the Rocket League Olympics will be, or the Olympics that will have Rocket League in it will also be different, but we shall wait and see on that one. But what did you guys think first and foremost about the format, right? The double elimination group stage instead of like the normal Swiss that we've been seeing.
I liked it. It was a nice change of pace. I think the deciding of the groups could have been a little better, but I mean that comes with the territory determining groups. As for the playoff side of things, it's obviously, you know, it's going to be always a little odd with it being kind of randomized, but I feel like there could have been something better there. It was a fantastic playoffs. I mean, it was great matchups all around, but nevertheless, you know, that's what comes with randomness. But I think it was a nice change of pace compared to the amount of Swiss we've taken for like the last year.
Yeah, for sure. And I am like you touched on it a little bit. I think that how the groups were determined, you know, I don't know that we'll ever know like truly the answer for that, but like it certainly seemed like, you know, there are some groups that were a lot more difficult than others. As you know, it shows with our predictions, which we'll get into it a little bit later. But you know, I kind of like the single elimination playoffs. I think it means every match kind of means a little bit more. I think that, I mean, while the third place match is necessary for the Esports World Cup, like club tournament, right? For like for the orgs, and then I ended up being one of the best series, you know, of the tournament. But you know, I feel like for the most part, other than the fact that third place got 100 grand and fourth place got 60 grand, so other than that 40 grand difference, I feel like the players, like, there's not a ton to play for, right? They're not like RLCS points. It's not like World Championship points, anything like that. It's just like for their org basically, and like pride, I guess. And you know, all the teams that are making top four are competitive enough to try and work for it. But that part for me was a little bit interesting. But first and foremost, for our group stage, and you know, I have them split up a little bit differently in the Google Doc that we're using. But in Group A, we have Carmine Corps advancing out of Group A, beating Virtus Pro 3-0, and then beating NRG in 5, staving off a reverse sweep in overtime from NRG. And then we have NRG through the lower bracket beating Foot 3-1, and then NRG beat Foot again 3-0 to qualify out through the lower bracket. Also, shout out Harmonic and Foot for beating Virtus Pro in Game 5 overtime and getting their first RLCS, not RLCS, but like first international LAN victory this season. So,
a joy on that man's face was unmatched.
Oh yeah,
they grow up so fast.
But So we correctly predicted both of the teams that were coming out of Group A. I feel like that was not
Shocker.
Yeah, it was not super shocking. In Group B, we have Dignitas qualifying through the upper bracket, taking down Wildcard 3-1 and Gen G 3-0. We then have Team Secret qualifying through the lower bracket after dropping down to Gen G. They then won the rematch. They beat Wildcard 3-2. That was a way closer series than I would have anticipated. And then Secret sweep Gen G to qualify through the lower bracket. We got 1 out of 2 in this bracket. We missed Secret. We predicted Gen G instead. So, I am almost a little bit surprised that Wildcard was able to get 3 games total. But, I'm even more surprised to see the sweep from Secret over Gen G. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, we were on the right track with our predictions. I mean, we had Gen G losing, and then it come through with a force in lower bracket final as our prediction. So I mean, Secret did the same thing basically. So we were close, but I mean, it's wild card. I can't say I'm let down. I'd say meet expectations so far.
You've been whelmed.
I've been whelmed. Yes. I mean, this is about what I may have actually, they may have actually done a little better than I expected, but hey, it was pretty on par. Like for a hint into Stonks, we sold like 6 months ago. We've been out of this stock for a while.
Yeah. Quilly, any thoughts on Group B?
I mean, as expected, I guess. Dignitas Secrets, the emergence of Team Secret has been a great one to watch as a fan. It's nice to see the boys out of Sam 2 showing out better than Sam 1. Obviously, we know Sam 1 didn't get so lucky with their draw in both Raleigh and EWC, so that is also a huge part of it, but at least Sam's getting representation and couldn't happen to a better group of players.
Okay. So we'll leave Group D till last. We'll just continue to go in order, but I think maybe the most interesting group would be Group C. We have Team Falcons through the upper bracket beating GK in 5 and then sweeping Ultimates. We then have Furia getting swept by Ultimates and then instantly losing to GK 3-1 to get knocked out. You then, set up for the Ultimates GK for, qualification through the lower bracket. And GK wins in 4. The Ultimates scored 4 goals. One of those coming in the first game. I just the Ultimates looked good against Furia in game 1, and then they had it and then they lost it. So we got 50% on Group C. We missed GK. We had the Ultimates. No, we actually had Furia heading through this group. So missed on that one. But how are you feeling about the Ultimates? What are we thinking happened, and why is the power of friendship so strong?
I mean, we knew this. Go ahead.
No, I just had a quick thing of another situation that it could be chalked up to unlucky draws again. Can't really say as much about Raleigh because they did get Team Secret, who was an emerging team as to an established player that's supposed to be top 10 in the world in First Killer. Chronic and LJ are up for discussion where they are, but they're not scrubs. But obviously everyone called it the group of death. And it sure was, because we saw based off the performances of the 2 that made it out, how far they made it. This is one hell of a group to get out of. And at GK, what a performance. They just show up. I can't get over Archie, who doesn't play the game, ever. He probably has equal hours of red on Rocket League past 2. And he just shows up to lands, and they just win.
Yeah, I mean, Group of Death is a freaking understatement for how this group went. I think upper bracket side of things, this was all as expected. We saw Falcons coming out of this. I had very low doubts that Ultimates could pull off what they did in Raleigh. However, Furia, we gotta talk about Furia. I understand it's Group of Death; these are tough teams to play, but you're the number one from Sam. You were the top dogs. I'm saying were because at this point, it's hard to tell who's number one from Sam right now.
That's 2 missed main events in a row. From 2 missed main events in a row from Furia. They got 1 game, right? And like, the Ultimates in my eyes are, whether you think that they actually are or not, they're the number 2 NA seed. Before this event, maybe you chalk Raleigh up to poor performance. It happens to the best of us, but if you're asking me if I'm taking Furia or GK straight up, I'm taking Furia.
Yeah,
that's what I would have thought going into this event, right? And then you said, okay, I'm Ultimates GK. Who are you taking straight up? That one is more of a toss up, but it did not look that way, in game.
What's interesting too is I think Furia's biggest thing is they've really lost the offensive pressure that we used to see with their style. I mean, you used to see Yan on the ball and be terrified, but in today's meta, you don't really see that same threat with this Furia squad. I mean, against GK where they lost 3-1, they put up 1 goal over 4 games, and that 1 goal came in their first game victory, 1-0. They then proceeded to lose 1-0, 1-0, and 2-0. So the defense is there. I mean, they are holding teams to not a lot of goals, but there's just no offense anymore. I mean, it's insane. This is a Furia team, very very similar to Energy in the fact that they stuck together. They said we'll keep it close and we'll try to improve as a team. But now it's questionable. And then, Ultimate GK, again, power of friendship is insane. I was waiting for Oli to bust out the Batmobile again at some point with how this was going. I mean, it was a brutal series because each game was determined by 1 goal. So I really think, realistically, I think it could have gone either way if a couple of 50s went a certain way. I mean, Game 4 was an OT as well, but GK came prepared. And I'm hoping that this sends Ultimates back to the drawing board again to try to figure something out for Worlds, because right now what they're doing is not working.
Yeah, this is the thing that sucks about this time of the year is that there's no more opens. And obviously we saw in the Sam Opens, Furia dominated every single one except for the one where they lost a player and had to have a sub as a coach. That was the only one they dropped as team secret. And right after that was when Raleigh happened, and that was when the emergence of Team Secret started. And so obviously no opens. We have not seen them go head to head. So if they somehow at Worlds manage to get faced against each other, that will be the real test of who takes over as the top dog in SAM. Because as of right now, obviously Furia is getting some unlucky matchups with KC at Raleigh round 5 and Group of Death here. So it's hard to tell. Obviously, on paper, we're seeing it as Team Secret because they're taking down people that they should not be. So we're gonna have to start respecting them one way or another. They're without a doubt a top 10 team in the world right now.
Okay, well, and then before we jump on, I still have to say, props and congratulations to GK, right? Like, they still have to make the run, they still have to perform. And they did that. Archie had himself a fantastic tournament. Mr. Nomex was hitting some crazy shots. So, good to GK. But last but not least, we got Group D. We have Vitality qualifying through the upper bracket, sweeping Space Station, sweeping Twisted Minds. And then we have Space Station through the lowers after getting swept by Vitality in the longest RLCS, or the longest professional Rocket League series of all time. We have Space Station beating TSM 3-1, beating Twisted Minds 3-1. We did not have that. We predicted, 1 out of 2. We got Vitality and Twisted. We had Twisted through the upper bracket and Vitality through the lower bracket. We missed Space Station, but had to get through all those results because we have to talk about the tech pause. So
the tech pause, the hour-long tech pause,
hour and a half.
Yeah, so that is the longest time in esports history between matches on a LAN. Between game 1 and game 2, there was an hour. It was like an hour and 40 minutes, all in all, between the conclusion of game 1 and the beginning of game 2, which we found out was due to Epic servers going down. So, no fault to the players or any of the equipment or anything like that at the Esports World Cup. It was a server side issue. Secondly, that being said, after game 1, which was 8-1, correct? Was that that first one?
8-1, yes.
So Vitality wins 8-1. You're not doing amazing. Your tech pause happens, and game 2 ended 16-2.
Nope. Game 2 was 2-0.
Game 2 was a close one. Game 2, I had hope. Game 2, I
Game
still
3 was the game.
Okay. So I think if I remember correctly, in game 3, sorry, I'm mixing up my stuff here. I believe they scored 4 or 5 in the first minute. Like
Which game?
Game 3.
Yes.
They scored a bunch real quick.
I'll pull up the ball chasing real quick.
It was not ideal for them.
Let's see here.
Not good at all.
Let's see here. Actually, no. The first two goals were scored in the first 40 seconds. So not a great start. Then a goal by Space Station at the minute 20 mark, minute 20 into the game. And then 2 more goals were scored by the 2-minute 50 mark into the game. So there's that's 2 minutes and 50 seconds. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
At that point. Actually, no, I guess this is time elaborated, so that's not including, replays and waiting for the kickoff. So give or take some seconds in there. But right about, I think it was goal 6 for Vitality is when the incident occurred.
And for people who did not see, from what I saw, Kofor stopped playing.
I thought it was revealed first.
He wasn't the only one.
No, but he was the most obvious one.
He was the most obvious one.
When he was turtling in the back of the net, spinning in circles.
Correct.
So also, I believe there was quite a bit of time where he set the controller down on his legs and just didn't do anything. So, but he plays with his hands under the table, so you couldn't fully see it, right? He is not the only one who does this, but that is what happened. And Reveal stopped playing, but then I think started playing again, and Kofor did not.
Or Scribbles, man.
Scribbles was trying, but at the same time you could tell it was lost cause, and he was at least moving. He was driving.
Scribbles was 1v3ing 2 of the best players of all time. And Exotic.
Oh my god. Dude, the Exotic hate is so wild. But no, so that, 16-2 is inexcusable, and anything other than an open qualifier, which we saw last, we saw Furia beat a team 42-0.
Mind you, this is in RLCS calls against a full Diamond squad. So
basically a team of bronzes.
I guarantee you those Diamonds kept trying. I guarantee they were still driving on the field.
Yeah.
At no point did they put a controller down.
But it's a definitely, I'd say, a blemish on the esports scene as a whole, especially on such a huge stage. This is one of the largest prize pools in RLCS in a long time, if not all time.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever been $1 million prize pool.
And sure, yeah, you're losing 6-2. There's been the tech pause, but at no point should you be doing what happened. And this was after an hour and a half tech pause. Anyone's mentally could be struggling from that, especially being down 1-0 in a series after almost getting Barca. You got Brazil +1. It was tough to watch. I will say. Even the casters were struggling to find words for it. They were making it fun by commentating on how Monkey Moon basically stole Zen's triple hat trick. But the fact that those are words even being uttered in a professional setting is crazy.
So that prompted quite a bit of frustration from Vitality and from, the esports fans in general. So we saw a tweet from Monkey Moon immediately following this series, and he tweeted in English, 16-year-old players already not motivated to play the game at this point. They will retire before me. Lamau, GG's 3-0. In English. English.
Monkey Moon to speak in English. He means it. That man very rarely speaks English, even though he can. He chooses not to.
Yeah. So
with this, it's just man.
So Kofer, Reveal, and the Space Station team issued a social media apology on their own accounts, and Xpair did an interview with CJ to talk about it. Disclaimer, I am not comparing them to Young Money Clan. But Young Money Clan got a year-long ban from RLCS for actively throwing games.
This is an RLCS, so I don't think they have jurisdiction over it, luckily. I don't think they could be charged for it. And also, it isn't really sandbagging, in my opinion, but I'm also quite biased.
So there's nothing to gain from them from losing the series. They were going to lose the series regardless. However, they actively threw the game.
Yes. It's one of those weird areas of they threw the game. However, it's not really they weren't intentionally trying to lose. They just didn't want to play. And it's one of those weird gray areas with Rocket League and the competitive scene where it's like, okay, yeah, we all get it. We've all been there. You've been trying to hit that vote to forfeit button and it's 4 minutes on the clock. You still can't hit it. So you're just like, I just want out. However, this also then brings up a great discussion on should the 3v3 scene have the ability to FF? We've seen it recently with the 1v1 scene. Obviously, it makes sense for 1v1s. You could be down 8 goals with a minute 30 left. There's no point. FF, go on to the next one. It keeps the flow of the game going. And it honestly helps keep your mental in check. I've thought about this. I'm curious on your guys' thoughts as well. Would this be something you'd want to see in the future? Obviously, it could be something where you take it away for, playoffs or like main stage performances where it's like the deal, like this is the main show match, top 4, top 6, whatever. You could take that function away. That way the crowd gets to enjoy everything. But it is something that could be considered to keep the pace of play going, especially in a situation where it's a best of 3 or best of 5 that was a sweep that lasted 2 hours.
Well, we can say the 2 hours wasn't because of the gameplay. It was because
of that last game because they scored 16 frickin' times.
Also an hour and a half.
Also an hour and a half check loss.
I do think forfeits ruin the integrity of the game from a standpoint of statistics. Saying like a player's averaging 3 goals a game and they score, one of their teammates scores 6 goals immediately. The team forfeits 2 minutes in. That's 3 minutes of stats that aren't recorded. That's just like, I feel like it leaves a lot on the table that could be there. So I think it's like a weird gray area that statistically it doesn't make any sense. And I had a point and I forgot it midway through my statistically it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, for the most part, statistically it doesn't make a lot of sense. And also it will open the whole realm of sandbagging, and also some apps have betting where you can bet on players like, oh, I'm just going to take the under and forfeit immediately every game. This is a free bet. I think it opens another gray area of issues because like if a game's forfeited with 2 minutes to go and someone's relying on a goal, and guess what? You're not getting a goal, buddy, because the game's over. That's it. I think it's a touchy subject to add forfeits.
It is. I mean, it's something you see like in Dota and League, especially, but generally that happens like towards the end of a match. They're like, yeah, this is already over. Let's just GG's go next. I mean, it certainly is an interesting theory, although generally I feel like you would think at a tournament like this where it's invited teams that you really shouldn't have games this lopsided unless something goes really wrong or people set down their controllers, and in which case maybe you just punish people for setting down their controllers and it doesn't happen anymore. But that's kind of where I'm at. But like, really, the lasting question that I have on this one is Xpair to blame? Right, this is not his first young team. He coached Team Liquid. Played with it at the time. They were the youngest team in RLCS, and he's done it again with Space Station. Is Xpair to blame for not hey, like, I know it sucks. I know you're tilted. I know everything's going wrong, but you can't turtle and spin in the back of the net.
I think it's more so equal parts to everyone on the team. Everyone had a responsibility to keep that game going, at the very least, to at least keep moving. Could have Xpair have maybe at least pushed his guys to play the last however many minutes and seconds? Yes. Did he recognize that was a mistake of his? Yes. But also, putting myself in his shoes, that's a really tough spot to be in as a coach. When you have your team just completely out of it, and it's just, scores being racked up left and right, it completely makes sense to also like fall into that spot of just kind of joining them. And it's a tough spot to be in, especially for not necessarily it wasn't a friendly, but a no elimination match. Yeah, I mean, I would think that I still think it's equal parts. I don't think it's all on Xpair. I don't think it's all on any player. I think everyone kind of had their own fault in it.
Fair. Well,
at the end of the day, shouldn't have happened. There's no point, and there's obviously there's medical issues going on, mental issues going on, because obviously you're drained from sitting for that long. But regardless, end of the day, completely unacceptable to do.
Agree. I think that's a good place to leave it, so we don't continue talking this to death. I'm sure that more will come out in the next couple of weeks about this once everybody gets home from their trip back from EWC. So I'm sure we'll revisit it. But playoffs. In the quarterfinals, we have Team Falcons taking down Space Station 4-1. All of those were close enough games, right? The biggest blowout was a 4-1 win from Falcons, but everything else was pretty close. We have Carmine Corps taking down Secret 4-1. We have GK taking down Dignitas 4-1. And we have Vitality beating NRG 4-2. So, what surprises do you guys have from these quarterfinal matchups before we move forward here?
I mean, you're the first two series, right? Falcon, Space Station, Carmine Corps, Secret, all pretty much, I think, expected results. They were the teams supposed to make it out of their respective quarters. All made sense. The Energy Vitality match, you could argue, wasn't that much of a surprise with how in form Vitality looked coming out of the group stage. I mean, it's Monkey Moon in Riyadh, and we've seen this before. And it has to be known that apparently, I don't know what it is. I don't know what Monkey Moon has against Energy or G2 or in that regard, but he has their number. This man is the kryptonite to Energy G2 and has been for years. And
he just loves kicking the shit out of Sathu.
I can't wait for this man to go away.
He just likes beating Sathu. We talked about this.
I know he's got something against Sathu. He's gonna follow that man everywhere. But to be fair, it's a rough matchup. A very informed Vitality. Do I think Energy do better against literally anyone else? Yes, but that's how the playoffs drew. So be it.
I mean, I don't think they played bad against Vitality.
No, I think Energy learned some things, hopefully. I mean, they look fine for going into Worlds. Obviously, a few things need to be tweaked, but I mean, you took Karmine Core to 5 in group stage and almost reverse swept them. You're competing with Vitality and just are losing a couple close games. So I think Energy don't have too much to worry about. You're still NA's only hope at the moment. So, and then Dig GK. I mean, the power of friendship is greater than everything. Apparently, I don't understand it. I just don't.
So
these guys perform
when you least expect
any
it.
reason. Like, I mean, watching that series, I hate to say it looked like Dig had reverted back to old Dig a bit. You know, we were hoping that the post Raleigh Dig was going to be the same Dig we saw at Raleigh, and group stage led us to believe that. But to be fair, they probably had one of the easier group stages out there, besides, of course, Karmine Core and NRG.
They also did drop a game to wildcard.
But I mean, GK, they were playing out there like they got the call up for the last spot in Worlds again. I mean, they were playing like they had rent due the next day. I mean, it was insane. I don't know how else to put it.
Dignitas scored 3 goals in game 1, 2 goals in game 2. They scored 1 goal in the first minute of game 3, and then they did not score again for the rest of the series. GK shut them out for over 15 minutes of game time. With the overtime, because the game 4 went to overtime. So
GK land plot armor is just generational.
It's
just all
unreal.
It is ridiculous.
Some of the saves that they had were unreal.
It's a lot of just like, we're just gonna hope and pray it works, and it just does for them. There's no other way to put it, because quite literally, Archie doesn't play the game. I can't get over that. He doesn't play the game. He just shows up, and they just win. I don't get it. And also, seeing how much it meant to Joyo. That man cried on stage just for making it to the finals. What a sight. But
was
Dig
it Archie's like first like top 4, like at LAN?
And Oli.
And Oli, yeah. I was like, there's a lot of firsts for that GK squad.
I also would like to shout out Fear on Fear Twitch on Twitter, but it's Fear. He tweeted, "Universe on the line, give me Joyo with 0 boost." The man is different.
For real.
Different.
But no, they looked amazing. Dig looked like a shell of themselves. I do think jet lag played a huge factor in a lot of these teams, because a lot of teams flew in day or 2 before the matchups, which I genuinely don't understand why that was a good idea to them, because like the time zone difference and also the traveling. NA, I don't even want to like think about how long the travel for Brazil players
18 hours
was. Like that's
I wonder if it was their choice.
I think it was visa issues.
It was either visa or like that's when EWC got the tickets for, because most of the time for traveling like that, it's usually taken care of by the host, and if they book the tickets, then that's just on EWC for not giving them more time to practice and get more accustomed to the time switch, which at the same time, then you're looking over at Team Falcons like you literally got an advantage and you still lost.
They say Twisted Minds' facility is literally 5 minutes from the venue that they were playing at.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But
I mean, to be fair, Nobu's the only one that lives there, so he's the only one that was okay with the time zone.
Fair.
Yeah.
But moving into our semifinals and our top 4, we predicted, so 4 playoffs, we got 5 out of 8. So passing. Not perfect, but passing. And we got half of the top 4. It's over 50%. I'm saying that's passing. We got 2. There's a curve. They graded on a curve. I don't know what you want me to say.
That was a passing grade. That would have been fine in high school, dude.
5 out of 8 is a 63. That is a D-.
What school did you go to?
What are you talking about?
I was an F in my school. Anything below a 72 was failing.
That is a D minus. So technically,
Okay, wait, nah, sorry. Clearly, your school is the freaking outlier here.
Yeah,
below a
yeah.
72 is failing. What kind of preppy ass school did you go to?
So to be fair,
I didn't have a good GPA for a reason, bro.
so
Oh my god.
at university, if you got a D in a class, you couldn't go to the next class. Like you couldn't take the next one in the if you didn't get a C. But technically, a D is not failing. So
Correct.
but we got half of the top 4. We missed out on Vitality and Dignitas on that one. So before we do the rest of the predictions, our semifinal matchups, we have Carmine Corps taking down Falcons 4-2, and we have GK taking down Vitality in Game 7 overtime. I was very intrigued to see which plot armor would win out here: Monkey Moon at the Monkey Moon event or the Power of Friendship.
The Monkey Moon event.
And the way it was looking, I kind of thought the Vitality plot armor was winning after they win 4-3, 2-1 in games 5 and 6. And they were not able to hold on and GK get it done to send, like you said, Archie and Oli's first grand finals appearance in a S tier Rocket League LAN. So congratulations to them. But my God, the Evil Empire is back.
Mm-hmm. I mean, okay, they're back. They weren't ever truly gone. Realistically, it was just a holiday. It was a brief vacation. Everyone assumed they were coming back.
The Rebels blew up the Death Star, but they're back again. Like,
yeah, this is Death Star 2.0.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Somehow.
Realistically, Darth Vader was born again. They brought him back. Drawley wins tournament MVP. Drawley looked incredible.
Anakin had a long-lost brother that they tossed into a volcano for a second time and created Darth Vader again.
Do you think Pharaoh wasn't going to let that... What do you think Pharaoh was going to let that slide, what happened in Raleigh? He probably did some unhinged things in that meeting room after that.
See, like I'll use a different sci-fi reference here. We thought we destroyed the One Ring, but Farah had a second One Ring.
He had a second ring. There was a second one.
The whole time, everyone was thinking that was his precious, but he didn't give a shit about that one. But yeah, they looked incredible.
This Carmine Corps team, I mean, they looked ridiculous. They looked back in form. Dare I say, even a little better, maybe, because they are a little more or maybe war-torn, war-scarred a bit. You know, they've experienced the low of not winning that major and the pain of not going past top 8. And I think it started something for them. I'm a little scared.
I mean, Leaf already gave us the script. We know this.
Mm-hmm. If Leaf gets this right, man, for the sake of NA Rocket League, I hope he's wrong.
We told him he's got to go into hiding.
Leaf predicted the by far best team in Rocket League to win the whole thing. I feel like it's not that insane of a prediction.
He said without dropping a series.
That will be the prediction. All right, well.
And hey,
and he said KC wins round 5 Swiss and they go out first round. They go out in top 8. I'm like, that's yes, he did.
He knows something.
So long ago, I forget all of it.
He knows something. He knows something we don't.
In the interviews.
But
in the interviews, he's like extracting knowledge from them. He knows what's going to happen.
So I mean, he's coming back from EWC. We're going to try and get an interview with him before the World Championships. I think that would be a lot of fun. He's an awesome human. But we'll do the third place match first, and in the third place match we have Falcons taking down Vitality in Game 7. Very hotly contested, lots of crazy goals. You can only keep TRK, the 3 most dangerous letters in all of Rocket League, down for so long, and Falcons take home third place and that $100,000 prize for third place, which is crazy. And then in our grand finals, the power of friendship died. So talk about not scoring very well. GK had 3 goals in the whole series. and they were all in Game 4 where they won 3-1, and KC 1-0, 2-0, 1-0, a 3-1 loss, and then a 1-0 win. So a low-scoring affair, but the defense was there in force. This is maybe the first time I've seen in a while, but Vatira almost shadowed and removed Oli from the game. Like, they knew exactly what they were wanting to do, and they did it.
I do think a huge part of it was that break for the third place series. I think if they went straight into it like they do with RLCS, I think GK would have been a lot hotter and had a lot more momentum going. I think because that series, the Vitality Fury Falcon series, that went to 7, didn't it?
Yep.
So that was quite literally as long as the series could possibly be, barring a 2-hour tech pause. The series was beyond as long as it could be. I think it really hindered GK, and obviously the adrenaline dump. Like I mentioned before, Joyo was literally crying on stage from joy. And I think I think maybe an adrenaline dump happened, and they're like just sitting there waiting for the next match. Obviously, I'm assuming they were warming up and playing, but I think that third place match took a huge toll on them, in my opinion. That's my guess.
I would think that's a pretty fair statement, right? Because they were clearly the crowd favorite, right? GK being a Middle Eastern org, right? So they certainly had their fair share of fans, and everybody wanted the underdogs to win, and it's such an easy story, and Joyo is such an easy person to root for. So, certainly they had the crowd favor and the popular, favor, right? Other than KC fans, most likely. But, man, they just couldn't get anything going. Vitality just looked too good. Drolly was doing Drolly things again. They kind of, we joked after Raleigh that they kind of had him on a leash. They took the leash off. Drolly did Drolly things, and they were fantastic. So congratulations to Carmine Corps and their $400,000 prize pool that they just took home, and Drolly for another $10,000 for winning MVP. Yeah.
I feel like $10,000 is a really low prize pool for winning $400,000 for the whole event.
I mean, that was just for MVP.
Should have been a truck. Good old NFL American way. Give him a truck.
Give him a car.
You'd have to import it back to the.
That sounds like a them problem.
Maybe if in true form, just give them the money to buy a car in your port of origin.
Saudi's got Lamborghinis and Bugattis laying around. They could throw one. They could throw one out.
Yeah. But again, our predictions: we went 5 for 8 for the top 8. We went 2 of 4 in the top 4. We correctly predicted Team Falcons to get 3rd place. We correctly predicted Carmine Corps to win. We missed out on 2nd place. We thought that would be NRG, and it ended up being GK, to pretty much everybody's surprise. So all in all, I feel like we did pretty good. 50% of the top 4, but we got the winner. We got 3rd place. Those were the two ones that really mattered the most. So all in all, I would say that we did pretty decently, and I'd say we know ball generally.
Are NRG frauds?
No, I thought they looked really good. But here we go.
In the Vitality series? Do we think in that Vitality series?
What in the clickbait, rage bait title is this?
Is NA cooked? Is NA a minor region?
NA was always cooked, buddy.
That's the name of the episode, is NA a minor region. Like, that has to be...
Oh, no.
SSG looked phenomenal against Falcons. That's all I gotta say. What? Don't make that face. Game 1 overtime. Game 2 was a nail biter.
SSG.
There were 2 1-goal games.
There was only 5 games played.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Games 1 and 2, dude. The games 1 and 2, I had some copium in me. I was like, we're winning this.
Those were good games though. But I was like, yeah, they're not winning.
I thought game 1 they were gonna steal it. They had a 2-goal lead. Oh my god, they kept blowing leads. I was like, hey, let's just park the bus. No, let's just throw everyone forward. Just get scored on. Let's let the Falcons just have their way.
Okay, so here we are.
It was another rough weekend for for NA.
That was no kidding. So this is the perfect time to talk about our new segment, and that is Stonks. So, how are we feeling about teams heading into Worlds? Are we buying, selling, or staying put on the stocks? the goal is to make money, right? So that's buying low and selling high. I am going to preface this by saying everybody has stock in everything. So you're either keeping the stock that you currently have, you are buying more, or you are selling the stock that you have. So we'll go first through teams. And so the first one, and maybe the most difficult, is Carmine Corps. So go ahead.
I was gonna say, I feel like I'm staying put because I don't think there's enough stocks for me to keep buying because I feel like all the stocks are already bought. You know?
I mean, that's a very fair way to look at it.
I'm looking at it as I'm staying put because it's already astronomically high, and they are the favorite to win Worlds.
It's like betting on a minus 10,000 favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's how I'm viewing it. It's like I'm not selling because I'm assuming they'll win Worlds. However, I do think I'm good. I'm gonna stay.
Okay. Dignitas.
I'm I'm selling a little bit here. I think Dig is going back to normal Dig. I think we sell here. I think Dig will go back to normal.
I know part of your hypothetical is that we already own stock in them. I somehow beat the system. I never owned stock in Dig. I never did. I never will. I never did. Never,
Okay.
never.
Fair.
So whatever little stock I somehow have, sell it. It's gone.
So this is, in my opinion, this is one of the easiest ones. GK.
Take out a mortgage.
I'm selling. They are not going to be higher than what they currently are right now.
I absolutely agree. I think they used their Wonder Dust a little too soon.
I mean, I can see them making a top 8, but that's like they're not.
Yeah,
not more.
Well,
at what point are they losing you value though? Because that was just so unexpected. Like, so we're just selling now because their stock is at the premium. What drops their stock? What drops their stock? Like missing
results.
Results, yeah.
Like getting worse than 2. Obviously, they're going to get worse than 2. They got second place in the whole event. That's hard to top that.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying that their like stock right now is at an all-time high. Like you're not. Like, I mean, GK fans are probably buying more.
They're not winning World, so it's an obvious sell.
Yeah, that's really where I'm going with that one. But I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. We're gonna do NA depth.
We're just skipping Vitality.
We skipped one. You skipped Vitality.
I'm gonna come back to them.
Okay. All right.
Because I am very curious about this one, and by depth I mean not the number 1 team. So we're gonna do EU depth next, and so 2 through 4. So how are you feeling on NA depth?
Oh, just as a whole.
Yes. Ooh. Yes. Like, are you buying or selling NA depth?
If we're talking from an SSG standpoint, I'm buying as much as possible, baby.
So I am in the same vein as Quilly on this one. I am buying because there is no way they do as bad as they have been doing. However, that being said, watching what I just saw, I don't know that Gen G makes out of the play-ins.
I agree with
I'm staying. I'm not buying more. I'm not selling.
Okay.
I'm staying right in the middle. I think because it's going to balance out. And NRG is essentially the only NA team that can compete. We'll do fine. They'll do what they're supposed to. Ultimates is the coin flip. Gen G, I love them. I want them to succeed so badly. It's not happening.
Are you
SSG? I sooner expect them to go at each other's throats than do well. And then Shopify, they're just there for the ride.
So, are you buying or selling Shopify?
So,
I never bought in the first place.
I say sell because they're the play that tournament win was. They should be happy with that. It's about as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah, I was like, they will not. I don't, unless they get crazy lucky with the teams they play against, they will not make it past play-in.
Okay.
But I will say, NRG is they run off results. SSG, they're running off prospects. Ultimates is running off hypotheticals because that's all they are, is a hypothetically great team.
Oh
Because they
my God.
We have found the Justin Herbert of Rocket League, ladies and gentlemen.
Quite literally, first killer is Justin Herbert.
So, hold on. So, looking at the bracket, and I'm not going to steal content because we're going to talk about this. Gen G plays ex Corinthians first, and then most likely they play ROC.
ROC, they got a chance. Not a good
It's
chance.
like
they got a
Gen
chance.
G will make it through. I think Gen G makes it through. That's
I
I'm
think
not
they
worried
lose that
about
first
that.
matchup. I think Race Bill shocks the world.
Whoa,
I think
that's a crazy comp.
and then Shopify has Virtus Pro, and then most likely Ninjas.
I think Shopify will probably beat VP. No way in hell are they beating NIP. No way.
Okay.
Are you invested on? Are you? Rado secured his job. I think it goes downhill from here. The job is secured. We're not getting job security Rado anymore.
We've seen Rado win it at Worlds. Rado at Worlds is a different beast.
Well, he's trying to secure that bag for next year.
I watched him lose to SSG last year. I watched him lose to Space Station Gaming last year.
Okay, we're moving away from the play-ins because I think that this could the play-in stonks could be another fun section for later. So now let's do EU depth.
I think
Wait, didn't we just go through EU?
I like as a whole EU depth. So
As a
I
whole.
think I think I'm staying purely because it's already pretty close to a premium at this point.
I don't think GK improves. I don't think ninjas improve. We don't see, in my opinion, the fastest improving, which was mates. So really, it's Carmine Core and then Vitality.
And Dig.
So like realistically, do you believe that Monkey Moon can do a Monkey Moon thing and win worlds out of nowhere? It's
Yes. Absolutely yes.
It's I would say it's not likely, but it's never zero. The odds are never zero.
It's not only not zero, it's definitely not one either. It's a lot more than most people think, probably.
Okay. So we've done depth. And the reason I wanted to come back to it is because of the very point that we just made, Vitality. Are you buying, selling, or
Buying?
Yep, I'm slamming the buy button.
Slamming it. I mean, credit card on the table. I'm buying.
As long as Exotic's on the team, I'm not buying.
The hate runs deep. It's in the bloodline.
He despises Exotic as much as I despise
He despises Exotic on a principle.
Who scored the dagger? Who scored
What?
the dagger?
For when?
The Vitality to end the series.
Oh, he's talking about the own goal.
Exotic scored on his own net. He scored on his own net.
Zen scored on his own net.
He's Zen though.
So
You not see
does
that pinch?
so does Rado.
Do you not see that wall pinch? Zen single-handedly carried that team to where they got. That is all I have to say on the matter of Vitality. Zen is
Who are you taking on that team? Who are you taking on that team? Exotic or Rado?
nuclear bomb. Give me VK Salem.
Bro,
before I say
say-
VK
Oh
Right,
my
right.
god, give me VK Salen. Oh my god. Okay. NRG.
It can't get worse.
Buying.
I would say buy as well.
Buying purely because it's NRG villain arc. I have faith in the villain arc.
What happened
Yeah.
last time they were in EU? That wasn't. Shoot, they lost in Copenhagen.
Okay. So we're gonna rapid fire a couple of these in the interest of time. So a buy, sell, or stay. Foot.
I'd buy some.
Sell.
What?
They got
don't
their
think they're gonna-
international win.
They're gonna be playing play-in teams. They can get a win in a play-ins.
I don't
Were
think
they
that
playing
they
in play-ins?
shop.
Who do they play?
No,
They're playing shop. They're
rock,
playing
rock.
They're playing ROC. I'm selling.
All right, I'll stay.
Virtus. VP.
Sold. It's gone.
Been
Oh, you
selling.
want it.
Yep.
Been selling a while.
TSM.
Never
Sold.
owned it in the first place.
Yeah.
In fact, I was actively finding people to buy it just to get rid of it.
I was actually paying people to take it from me. I
I'm
was offering them money.
I'm staying because it has negative value.
It's thinking about it.
The good thing about rock bottom is there's only one way to go. That's up.
Wild card.
Never owned it in the first place.
I'll stay just for the prospect, just for the hope.
So
I'll buy on a prospects just because they took a couple of games and it's like next to nothing.
you know what? Sure, I'll buy purely because it's negative value. It is 0 or lower.
Okay. So now we got Twisted Minds.
I'm selling.
I'd buy. There's no way they like their stock's lower. They lost to SSG. Like they were the catalyst of SSG becoming a good team. There's no way they can get worse than this. I think Nobu. I don't know what happened to them. I think they weren't expecting SSG to click as well as they did. So
They weren't ready for the demo missile Kofer.
Yeah, there was no way for them to prepare for that properly because from what we saw on land, even the series before that, possibly the most embarrassing series in RLCS history, lands, they weren't expecting that, and SSG just caught them with their pants down.
Fair. Falcons.
Keep buying. I think they're without a doubt the second best team in the world.
I'm staying. Realistically, they're still meeting expectations. They're placing 2, placing 1. I think we're staying.
I would tend to agree.
They will make top 4 at Worlds. Whether or not they make top 2 is purely matchup based.
I would agree.
Matchup based.
Like if they get a KC in the court in the top 4, that's
they get a KC.
If anyone faces the number 1 team, they're gonna lose.
No, I know, but like he's saying like
depending on form, there are a couple of the teams I see Falcons losing to.
Like I think if Falcons dodge KC in this one, they make grand finals, and that's a much closer series than GK KC.
If we see the vitality we saw against NRG, I see Falcons losing.
You mean the series? You mean the team that they beat right after they?
Yes,
beat NRG?
I don't think it happens twice.
Okay.
Without home field advantage, with home field advantage for vitality.
What is home field advantage?
For the French, it's going to be a lot.
A lot.
Find out. This is going to be really interesting. We've
certainly
never seen one in France, right?
Nope.
Like this is. I can't. This. I wish
This is going to be groundbreaking.
I wish
so too.
I know, me too.
The vibes in this, I feel like we're gonna be able to feel the crowd through the camera. It's gonna be insane.
We talked about Gen G, so let's do the Ultimates.
Ah, God.
This is my. I never owned it to begin with.
Dude, like you people that own this stock have gone through 3 different stages of cardiac arrest.
All the stages of grief.
Of grief. Like I'm staying purely because I have no idea what is going to happen with the stock. It could not exist in a week. It could be skyrocketing to the moon. We don't know.
Quilly?
The input. I believe in First Killer, but he's the only one on the team that lets me believe. So that's why I'm just gonna stay.
Okay. Space Station Gaming.
Bye. Give me all of it. I want it all.
Okay.
I'm staying.
Me too.
I mean, honestly, from a realistic point, it's either stay or sell because they looked insane comparatively to what they looked in quite literally every series. Like in the comparison to every series prior to those last 2 series, it's a night and day difference. So the easiest choice is to stay or sell. But if they can continue that, I think buying it is without a doubt a crazy choice. But that's the risk of investing, is that you're banking on the rise. And what I saw with SSG, if they can continue that momentum and how they played, easy purchase.
Okay. And then our last 2 that we have is first and foremost Furia.
I'm selling. I have not liked what I've seen from Furia since Raleigh. I think this is going to be a rough call for Furia to answer.
So the reason that you're selling is the reason that I'm buying. I think it's low. I think that they have drastically underperformed expectations the past 2 events. and I think people forget that they can do some crazy shit when they want to. Maybe it's a confidence thing. I'm not sure. This event, it kind of looked like they unleashed Yan a little bit, which I think that I've kind of been waiting to see for a while because Yan does cool shit. So for that reason, I'm buying. Willie?
Input. I mean,
Okay.
it's already. It is low, so buying is like the obvious choice because there's no way it gets worse. Buy.
Okay. And then the last one, and I think that this is kind of an easy one, but Team Secret.
Big sell. Huge sell.
Sell.
Big sell.
Selling the house.
Big sell.
Selling everything. I'm cashing out. We're running away because we just robbed everybody.
I believe in Vinny, the man, the myth, the legend, and I like the team. I feel like some of the results that they've had are unsustainable. So it's a sell for me, and you're laughing all the way to the bank. But so hope that's all we got for this time. We will bring back this section because I think it's interesting. It makes for some fun conversations. So hopefully you guys all everyone liked that. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about before we wrap up for today?
Got the Quilly question.
Oh yeah.
What needs to happen at Worlds that Furia blows it up?
In what way? What do you mean?
If they miss the main event, are they blowing up the roster?
Oh, are they? Absolutely. If Furia do not, I think in my eyes, if Furia do not make top 8, that roster's gone. That
So you
roster
think they
is
go?
changing.
You think if they go out first round, they'll stick?
I think you could,
as long as they outperform Secret.
Ooh, that is a fair point.
They don't have to be the best. They just have to be better than Secret.
I see. The thing is, though, is especially with how the current scene is, even if they're better than Secret, I still think they would see a change in roster if the result internationally is not.
Yeah, because they go into this, they were expected to win a LAN.
They were up there in percentage, like going into like Copenhagen, going into Raleigh.
A lot of people had him top 4, top 3 in the world.
Not anymore.
Nope. It'll be interesting though to see what happens though, because like realistically, now that Razebull's back, maybe that's a move that you look into making. Now that Razebull's back in Sam, but like before Razebull came back, I think there's a pretty solid argument to be made that that's the best 3 players in Sam.
I mean, if you bring in Razebull, who are you getting rid of? Lost?
Drafinho.
Just
because he plays KBM. No, I have no idea that's why I don't get paid to make the $1 million decisions.
I was like, surely you keep Yan. It's got.
He's like the face of Furia.
You did.
I don't know. I'd have to look.
Yan's also the ones player, so you get double lane potential.
Yeah, double lane potential. Yeah, true.
Or do you pick up like a Diaz?
That's assuming Diaz comes back to.
I was under the impression from what I had heard from rumblings that Complexity was trying to sell their roster. They were trying to help people buy it, and no one was buying the roster. I don't think that they want to sponsor players in NA anymore. I think that is a too large of a cost. So I think that those players will return to Sam purely because they won't have sponsored visas anymore.
Do you think the org returns to Sam?
Probably.
If they're going to continue keeping a team, I think that they will go to Sam.
I know they just announced today they're dropping out of CSGO.
See,
I feel like if they were doing Rocket League, they probably would have went.
I could totally see them dropping their current team and picking up the former Corinthians for Worlds.
I could too.
Could they do that this Worlds?
Yes.
They could.
The Corinthians team does not have
absolutely
representation right now.
I feel like that's a no-brainer if they
if they want to go back to Sam, that's I mean, unless just contract issues, but I feel like would be the best move.
I think so too. But that's a good question
for next week.
Yeah, I'm sure that we will talk a lot more about EWC. I'm sure we'll talk more about, the play-ins in the next coming weeks, as we're about a month away from the World Championships. And so with that, we would like to thank you all so much for listening. We'd like to remind everyone that this podcast is proudly brought to you by our name level supporters on Patreon, Alyssa B. Please remember to rate us 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts, share the show, tell a friend. It all helps us grow our audience and improve the show. Remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Twitch, which we're currently live streaming on right now. And come join our Discord, come talk some ball. Make sure to support us by checking out our merch store and our Patreon. This is how we fund the show and do giveaways in the future. All of these links and more can be found on boostoverball.com. And from us here on the show, as always, remember to choose Boost over Ball. See ya.
Thanks for listening to the Boost Over Ball podcast. Make sure to check out our website at boostoverball.com.